The Galactic Empire spanned hundreds of star systems, its power entrenched for millennia. It ruled with a mix of diplomacy and military might, silencing rebellions and assimilating alien species into its vast dominion. Yet, despite its dominance, whispers of a long-lost adversary lingered in the annals of history. A race called humanity. Humanity was once part of the Empire, a minor species from a blue-green planet called Earth. They were industrious, adaptive, and fiercely independent. But centuries ago they vanished, retreating to the edges of the galaxy after a failed uprising against the Empire's tyranny. Yet legends persisted of their survival and their vow for vengeance. Empress Carvana, ruler of the Galactic Empire, dismissed these tales as myth. Her focus lay on securing resources for the Empire's endless expansion. That was until the probes arrived. First, they were specks on the Empire's vast sensor grid, unnoticed. Then, one by one, they began transmitting cryptic messages in an ancient human dialect. The messages were simple. "We are coming." In her gilded throne room aboard the Imperial capital ship Vermilion Star, Carvana summoned her advisors. The chamber was a testament to the Empire's wealth and power, adorned with shimmering crystal panels that reflected the light of distant stars. Holographic displays hovered in the air, projecting maps of the galaxy and streams of intelligence data. "What do we know of this threat?" Carvana demanded, her voice sharp and commanding. Admiral Zeran, an experienced tactician with a cybernetic eye that glowed blue, stepped forward. He was a figure of calm authority, his battle-worn uniform bearing the scars of countless campaigns. "Your Majesty, these probes bear human signatures. They are broadcasting coordinates near the Etherian Rift. No ships have returned from that sector in decades." "And now?" Carvana's voice was icy, her golden eyes narrowing. "The probes suggest a fleet is amassing. Their size and firepower remain unknown." Zeran hesitated, then added, "However, their technological signature is unusual. Our analysts report energy readings that surpass our current understanding," which Carvana's lips tightened. Humanity, a species they thought extinct, was suddenly making itself known. For what purpose, she could guess. Revenge. "Prepare the fleets. I want scouts sent to the Etherian Rift. If they are truly coming, we will crush them before they cross into Imperial space." As the advisors scattered to carry out her orders, Carvana remained in her throne, gazing out the massive viewport. Beyond the shimmering shields of the Vermilion Star, the galaxy stretched endlessly, a sea of light and shadow. Her mind raced with thoughts of legends and half-forgotten histories. Humanity's uprising had been a minor event in the grand scale of the Empire's existence, yet it had left a mark, a scar that now threatened to reopen. On the far edge of the galaxy, near the mysterious Etherian Rift, a small Imperial scout fleet emerged from hyperspace. Commander Valric, a seasoned officer with a reputation for precision, oversaw the operation. His vessel, the Iron Dagger, was the flagship of the scouting expedition. "Report," Valric ordered, as the fleet's sensors began scanning the void. "No activity detected," replied Lieutenant Kira, his second in command. Her fingers danced across the console as she analyzed the incoming data. "The rift appears stable. Energy readings are consistent with known phenomena," Francois explained. Valric nodded, but a gnawing unease crept into his thoughts. The Etherian Rift was infamous for its dangers. Ships had vanished here without a trace, and ancient myths spoke of ghostly lights and malevolent forces lurking within its depths. Still, Valric trusted in the Empire's might and the discipline of his crew. Minutes stretched into hours as the fleet combed the area. Just as Valric considered calling off the search, an alert blared through the bridge. The holographic display flared to life, projecting a massive energy signature. "What is that?" Valric demanded, his voice cutting through the rising tension. Kira's eyes widened as she studied the data. "It's a structure. No, a fleet. Hundreds of ships. They've been hiding within the rift's distortion field." Colonel Korn. "What are we?" Before Valric could respond, the ships emerged. They were unlike anything he had ever seen. Their hulls were dark and angular, absorbing the faint starlight rather than reflecting it. Crimson energy pulsed along their edges, casting an eerie glow. The lead vessel dwarfed even the Iron Dagger, its silhouette radiating menace. A transmission crackled through the speakers, its tone cold and deliberate. It was a woman's voice, speaking in perfect Imperial standard. "This is Admiral Elena Drake of the Human Alliance. You have trespassed into our territory. Leave now or be destroyed." Valric's heart raced. The name was unfamiliar, but the confidence in her voice was unmistakable. "Open a channel," he barked. "This is Commander Valric of the Galactic Empire. You are in violation of Imperial law. Stand down and prepare to be boarded." There was no reply. Instead, the human fleet surged forward, their weapons ignited, unleashing a storm of torpedoes and energy beams. The scout fleet scrambled to respond, but the humans' firepower was overwhelming. Valric watched in horror as the Iron Dagger's escorts were annihilated in seconds. His own ship shuddered under the onslaught. "Shields failing," Kira shouted, her voice tinged with panic. "Prepare to retreat," Valric ordered, gripping the edge of his console. But it was too late. A final blast tore through the Iron Dagger's hull, sending flames and debris spiraling into the void. Suddenly, every sound had ceased. It was like being... As the Iron Dagger disintegrated, Admiral Drake observed from the bridge of her flagship, the Vindication. She turned to her officers, her expression resolute. "Transmit a message to the Empire. Let them know we are here." The communications officer nodded, activating the transmitter. Across Imperial space, a chilling message began to broadcast. "We are humanity. We have returned. Prepare for justice." The fleet of the Human Alliance vanished back into the shadows of the rift, leaving behind the wreckage of the scout fleet as a grim warning. The Galactic Empire had underestimated the resolve of a species it had once cast aside. Now, the galaxy would feel the wrath of humanity. The Galactic Empire's reach extended across countless worlds, its vast fleets ensuring absolute control over its dominion. For millennia it had seemed invincible, a monolith of power and order. Yet, even the mightiest empires were vulnerable to the unknown, and the unknown had begun to stir. Near the edges of the galaxy, in a sector shrouded in myth and caution, the Etherian Rift loomed like a cosmic scar. The Rift was a place of distortion and danger, a region where space-time bent and sensors faltered. Few ships dared venture into its depths, and even fewer returned. It was here, amidst this void, that the first signs of an ancient enemy re-emerged. The Iron Dagger and its accompanying scout fleet approached the rift with trepidation. Commander Valric, a grizzled veteran of Imperial campaigns, stood on the bridge of his ship, his gaze fixed on the swirling anomaly before them, an uneasy feeling gnawing at his thoughts. "Status report," he ordered, his voice steady despite the tension that hung in the air. "Scanners are struggling to penetrate the rift's interference," Lieutenant Kira replied, her hands deftly working the controls. "We're picking up faint energy readings, but it's difficult to determine their source or nature." Valric frowned. "Keep trying, and maintain formation. I don't want any surprises." The fleet advanced cautiously, their sensor arrays pushing against the veil of the rift. The swirling eddies of light and shadow outside the viewport were mesmerizing, yet ominous. It was as if the rift itself was alive, watching them, waiting. Hours passed with no sign of activity. The crew's tension eased slightly, though the oppressive atmosphere of the rift remained. Valric's mind drifted to the reports that had brought them here. The mysterious probes bearing human signatures, their cryptic messages hinting at a resurgence. Could it truly be humanity, the long-lost species that had once defied the Empire? His musings were interrupted by a sudden alert. A blaring siren filled the bridge as the ship's systems detected a massive energy surge. "Amanda," Kira shouted, "we have incoming. Hundreds of vessels emerging from the rift." "Locking down," systems said. "Prepare for impact." Valric's heart sank as the display filled with red blips, each representing a hostile contact. The ships materialized from the darkness like predators stalking their prey. Their design was unlike anything he had seen before, sleek, angular, and utterly alien. Yet there was something unmistakably human in their aggression. "Shields up, weapons ready," Valric barked. "Prepare for evasive maneuvers." The Iron Dagger and its escorts sprang into action, their engines flaring as they maneuvered to face the oncoming threat. The human fleet surged forward with terrifying precision. Energy weapons flared to life, and the void erupted in a cacophony of destruction. The Iron Dagger's shields absorbed the first volley, but the sheer firepower of the human ships was overwhelming. Imperial vessels exploded one after another, their crews consumed by flames and shrapnel. Valric's commands were drowned out by the chaos as his bridge officers scrambled to keep the ship operational. "They are too strong," Kira shouted, her voice tinged with desperation. "We need reinforcements." Valric clenched his fists. "We'll never make it back. Focus on holding the line." "What?" As the battle raged, a transmission cut through the static. The voice was calm, authoritative, and unmistakably human. "This is Admiral Elena Drake of the Human Alliance. You have trespassed into our territory. Leave now or face annihilation." Valric's blood ran cold. The name meant nothing to him, but the tone of her voice sent a chill down his spine. This was not the voice of a forgotten remnant. This was the voice of a leader who commanded power and purpose. "Open a channel," Valric barked. "This is Commander Valric of the Galactic Empire. You are in violation of Imperial law. Stand down and prepare to be boarded." The response was immediate and merciless. The human fleet intensified its assault, their weapons tearing through the Imperial ships with surgical precision. Valric watched in horror as the Iron Dagger began to buckle under the strain. "Hull breach on deck 3, an officer shouted. "Shields are failing." Valric gripped the edge of his console, his mind racing for a solution. But it was too late. A final blast struck the Iron Dagger's core, and the ship was consumed in a fiery explosion. "Out!" Far from the battlefield, aboard the flagship of the Human Alliance fleet, Admiral Elena Drake observed the carnage with a mixture of satisfaction and sorrow. The Bridge of the Vindication was a stark contrast to the chaotic scenes aboard the Imperial ships. It was a place of order and efficiency, its crew working in perfect harmony. Drake stood at the center of the room, her sharp eyes fixed on the holographic display that depicted the battle. She was a figure of calm authority, her presence commanding respect from all who served under her. Despite the overwhelming success of the operation, she felt no joy in the destruction. "Send a message to the Empire," she ordered, her voice steady. "Let them know we are here." The communications officer nodded, activating the transmitter. Across Imperial space, a chilling message began to broadcast. Auschwitz sighed. "We are humanity. We have returned. Prepare for justice." Hot 6. live. Drake turned away from the display, her thoughts drifting to the long journey that had brought humanity to this moment. Exiled to the edge of the galaxy, her people had faced unimaginable hardships. But they had endured, forging a new alliance and uncovering ancient technologies that had once belonged to the precursors, a civilization that had vanished eons ago. The human alliance was no longer the fragmented, desperate remnants of a defeated species. They were a force to be reckoned with, united by a shared purpose, to end the tyranny of the Galactic Empire and ensure that no species would ever suffer as they had. Drake's gaze hardened as she addressed her officers. This is only the beginning. The Empire will not fall easily, but we will not falter. For every world they have enslaved, for every life they have destroyed, we will make them pay. The crew responded with a chorus of determination. The human fleet began to regroup, their ships vanishing back into the shadows of the rift. They had sent their message, and now the galaxy would know the truth. Humanity had not only survived, it had returned stronger than ever, ready to challenge the might of the Galactic Empire. And this time, they would not be stopped. The Galactic Empire's response to the destruction of its scout fleet was swift and severe. The Empress Carvana, unaccustomed to challenges to her reign, convened an emergency war council aboard the Vermilion Star. Her inner circle, a mix of military strategists, scientists, and politicians, gathered in the war room, a vast chamber dominated by a holographic projection of the galaxy. The atmosphere was tense, the usual deference among the advisors replaced by barely contained anxiety. The destruction of an entire fleet at the hands of an unknown force, a force claiming to be humanity, had sent shockwaves through the Empire. Rumors of ancient rebellions and forgotten exiles now carried an air of urgency. Admiral Zaran, his cybernetic eye glinting under the room's harsh lights, addressed the assembly. The scout fleet's remains have been recovered. The wreckage confirms what the transmission suggested. Humanity has returned. Their ships display a level of technology that surpasses our current capabilities. Impossible, barked Senator Aravos, an aging politician whose family had long profited from the Empire's dominance. Humanity was nothing more than a scattered, defeated race. How could they possess technology superior to ours? Zaran's expression darkened. We have underestimated their resilience. Exile to the fringes of the galaxy may have forced them to adapt in ways we cannot yet comprehend. They have likely made contact with advanced species or uncovered precursor artifacts. Carvana raised a hand, silencing the debate. Her golden eyes swept across the room, commanding attention. The how is irrelevant. What matters is that they have made their intentions clear. They seek to challenge us, to dismantle the Empire. We cannot allow that to happen. She turned to Dr. Valora, the Empire's foremost expert on precursor technology. The scientist's presence was unusual in a military council, but the situation demanded her expertise. What have you learned from the probes they sent? Carvana asked. Dr. Valora stepped forward, her slim figure dwarfed by the imposing officers around her. Her voice was calm but carried a weight of urgency. The probes contain data fragments written in an ancient human dialect. They include star charts and what appear to be schematics for energy weapons far more advanced than anything we possess. More concerning is the evidence that their fleet utilizes a form of quantum-entangled communication, allowing instantaneous coordination over vast distances. This explains their tactical precision. Zaran interjected. They're not just a scattered resistance. They're an organized, militarized force. And Carvana's jaw tightened. The council's bickering faded into background noise as she processed the implications. Humanity's resurgence threatened not just the stability of the Empire, but the very narrative of its invincibility. Carvana, get back to Earth. Admiral, she said, her voice slicing through the room's tension. "Assemble a task force. We will not wait for humanity to bring the fight to us. We will strike first, and we will strike decisively." On the edge of the Etherian rift, the human alliance prepared for the inevitable retaliation. Admiral Elena Drake stood on the bridge of the Vindication, overseeing the final stages of their fleet's deployment. Around her, officers worked with quiet efficiency, their movements a testament to years of rigorous training. The rift had become humanity's sanctuary and stronghold. Its chaotic energy fields provided natural defenses, and the Alliance had transformed it into a bastion of technological innovation. Dozens of shipyards floated within the rift's protective shroud, constructing vessels designed for one purpose: war. "Admiral," said Commander Leora, Drake's trusted second-in-command, "our scouts report increased Imperial activity near the rift's perimeter. It's only a matter of time before they launch a counter-offensive." Drake nodded, her expression unreadable. "Good. Let them come. The Empire needs to understand that we are no longer the prey they once hunted." Approaching, he stepped forward. Leora hesitated. "Do you think they'll take the bait?" Drake allowed a faint smile. "Oh, they'll come. The Empire thrives on domination. They won't tolerate the existence of a force capable of challenging them. But they'll underestimate us. That will be their undoing." Her gaze shifted to the viewport, where the human fleet assembled in disciplined formations. Each ship was a testament to the Alliance's ingenuity, combining human adaptability with precursor advancements. The Vindication itself was the pinnacle of this effort, its hull bristling with weapons, powered by a revolutionary energy source derived from the rift's anomalies. Drake's thoughts drifted to the past, to the centuries of struggle and survival that had brought humanity to this moment. After their exile, her ancestors had faced unimaginable hardships: starvation, hostile environments, and relentless attacks from alien predators had pushed them to the brink. But in their darkest hour, they had discovered the ruins of the precursors, an ancient civilization whose technology defied understanding. The discovery had changed everything. With the precursors' knowledge, humanity had rebuilt itself, forging an alliance among the scattered remnants of their species. They had grown stronger, not just in technology, but in unity. Now, they were ready to reclaim their place in the galaxy, on their own terms. The Imperial Task Force arrived at the rift in a flash of light, their massive fleet a testament to the Empire's military might. Admiral Zarin commanded the operation from the Bridge of the Eclipse, a colossal warship equipped with the Empire's most advanced weaponry. "Battleships, maintain formation," Zarin ordered. "The rift's interference will make long-range targeting difficult. Rely on close-range scanners and manual coordination." The fleet advanced cautiously, their sensors probing the swirling chaos of the rift. The tension aboard the Eclipse was palpable, the crew's movements precise but strained. They had heard the stories of humanity's resurgence, and while the Empire's propaganda dismissed the threat, the destruction of the scout fleet had left a lingering sense of unease. "Admiral, we're detecting movement," reported a junior officer. "Multiple contacts emerging from the rift." Zarin's cybernetic eye focused on the display as dozens of red blips appeared, each representing a human alliance vessel. The enemy ships moved with a level of coordination that was almost unnatural, their formations fluid yet precise. "Our units, prepare for engagement," Zarin commanded. The human fleet struck with devastating precision. Their weapons, powered by advanced energy sources, sliced through Imperial shields as if they were paper. The Empire's ships retaliated, but their firepower seemed almost antiquated in comparison. On the Bridge of the Vindication, Drake directed the battle with calm authority. Her officers carried out her orders with unwavering discipline, their confidence bolstered by the fleet's early successes. "Target their command vessels," Drake ordered. disrupt their chain of command and sow chaos among their ranks. The Vindication unleashed a barrage of energy beams, its weapons locking onto the Eclipse. Zoran's ship shuddered under the assault, its shields flickering as they struggled to absorb the impact. "Admiral, our shields are failing," an officer reported. Zaren's expression hardened. "Redirect power from secondary systems. Focus all firepower on their flagship. We must break their momentum." The battle raged on, the void filled with explosions and streaks of energy. Despite the Empire's numerical advantage, the human fleet held its ground, their advanced technology and superior tactics giving them the edge. As the Eclipse sustained critical damage, Zoran realized the truth. This was not a rogue faction or a desperate uprising. This was a new power, one that could challenge the Empire on equal footing. "Admiral Drake," Zaran muttered under his breath, his cybernetic eye fixating on the image of the human flagship. "You've made your point, but this is far from over."